Tamayura is a hybrid between Hari from Pale Moon and Shirayuki. This means Tamayura has one of the strongest passive pressures in the game. The main Vanguard Tamayura gives 5 basic attack, and it has a blitz order to decrease the power of your opponent's front row by 10k. This means the deck can just steamroll some matches. Also, between Persona Ride and Tamayura's own effect, this deck gets plus 15k to front row on turn 4, letting the deck scale in the late game. Let's get right into our deck list. Tamayura is one of the easiest decks to build this format. It's got a lot of 4-ofs, and most serve one of 2 goals, either to support Tamayura's base 5 attacks, or to fill as much soul as possible. Let's get into the cards that make 5 attacks possible. Twin Direful Dolls Ramri and Rimri. These 2 cards both synergize with our ride line and with Forktail, but they're also the cards that Tamayura requires to attack 5 times. These cards get called out of soul when Tamayura attacks, and these cards get additional effects when placed on rearguard. Ramri lets you Soul Blast 2 to draw a card, and Rimli lets you Soul Blast 2, put one of your opponent's rear guards in the soul. This gives a constant choice between additional hand advantage or some removal, both or neither. This deck wants a lot of these cards in soul, so we run 4. How we put these cards in the soul is mostly going to be done with their glitter effect. When these cards are retired from guarding, they go in the soul. This is a free extra card, and it's going to matter a lot more thanks to our next card, Fleeting Shine that lights life. This is our order that decreases our opponent's front row power at the cost of Soul Blasting 2. I am running 4 because this deck needs to see it every game, and often for multiple turns. So I bet you've noticed the problem with every main card in this deck costing 2 Soul Blasts. That's where our other cards come in. Excavation Dragon Barloginel and Twin Strike of Deathstorm Orlando are 2 cards that do basically the same thing, and that is to put themselves in the soul after attacking to give something else power. Barloginel puts himself back into soul after he attacks to give another unit 5k. Orlando puts himself back into soul after the Vanguard attacks and gives the Vanguard 5k. These give soul for something the deck would do anyway. Very much like a worse version of the limited Inlet Pulse Dragon. Orlando is the worst of these 2 units, so we only run 3, but maxing out on Barloginel is preferred. Lastly, we're running 4 Forktail. Forktail is a simple check top 7, and soul charge either one of our dolls or a stealth card from deck. This is our insurance. We see 2 dolls in soul every turn. This card has a lot of potential as Overdress continues forward, so it's not a bad idea of picking up this card early, even if you're not planning on playing Tamayura. For triggers, we're running 7 crit and 4 draws. The crit is just extra pressure. A lot of players like the PG the Vanguard swing, and the crit just punishes that. The draws are just a little bit of extra consistency, and they make this deck's already strong defensive pressure even more overwhelming. P.S. When the Overtrigger restands the Vanguard, Tamayura can just call out 2 more units from soul. Her effect isn't once per turn for some reason. Let's get into our mulligans. Basically, we're looking to keep our Direful Dolls as they're a gateway to 5 attacks. Forktail is also a good method to do this. Orlando and Barloginel are kept as secondary options to feel soul, and keeping a Persona Ride is of course always good. I have Fleeting Shine that lights life in the optional category because sometimes you want more than 1 in hand. For decks like Bruce, you can wait to see 1, but for decks like Seraph Snow, you may need to see them more early on. Keep in mind, we're all running draw triggers, and the ride line will dig through top 7, so you have a bit of wiggle room whether or not you want to keep 1 in hand. Keep PGs against decks like Gravidia. Don't be afraid to keep triggers in hand to guard early. Do try to put back draw, over, and heal triggers. Let's get on the deck rating. 5 attacks on turn 3 that then gets plus 15k on turn 4. It's pretty good. It's a solid 4 out of 5 on power. This deck is almost fully live on turn 3, so that's a 3 out of 5 on speed. The deck has the only real power decrease on the opponent's turn in the game, and this can shut down some decks very hard, very easily. The deck also has access to Ascend the Soul from field on one of its rear guards, and this is one of the best types of removal in the game. 3 out of 5 on control. The deck is extremely consistent. We got a check top 7 in the ride line, and Forktail to dig for more pieces as well. Overall, the deck can hit 5 attacks very consistently. The real consistency problem is with how much soul the deck hits. 4 out of 5 on consistency. The deck's not overly versatile. That's the big cost of a super refined and straightforward deck. It's really good at attacking 5 times and using its major control options. But if these aren't really effective options against a deck, Tamayura is going to struggle a bit. 3 out of 5 on versatility. The deck has some access to draw power. The deck has tons of ways to fill soul. For example, the Direful Dolls put themselves in the soul after guarding. It's just not a lot when compared to the more value-heavy decks this format, like Kyrie and Seraph Snow. 3 out of 5 on value. On the tier list, Tamayura is sitting comfortably at the top of B tier. This deck struggles against Seraph Snow and Magnolia, a bit too much to be a strong meta contender, although I do believe Tamayura is the best rogue deck this format. Sorry about the big break between Vanguard content. It's just been extremely hard to justify making these when I actively lose subscribers when posting Vanguard videos. Thanks everyone for watching these, as it means a lot and I hope you all enjoy the deck profile. I'm not going to be giving up on Vanguard content, but I don't know, I'm going to have to innovate my Vanguard content, to be honest. I really enjoy doing deck profiles for Vanguard, but they're just not getting views, and I have a few ideas on how to innovate, but we'll see in future. Thanks everyone for watching, and I do hope to see you next time.